Hey everyone, when I think about communication, one thing I've learned during my MBA is that it's not just about speaking well, it's about making sure people understand your message, but also adapting to your audience, which is very important, and creating trust. I would describe my communication style as open, collaborative, and positive, and I like hearing different perspectives before making my own decisions. And I try to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable, where they can contribute to the topic, and I also enjoy being leading at presenting ideas and concepts because I like explaining and helping people understand the bigger picture. One of my strengths is that I stay calm and I am approachable during discussions. I don't mind asking questions and I try to make sure everyone is included in the conversation. And my psychology background has also helped me become a good listener because I naturally pay attention, or I try to pay attention to how people think, what motivates them, and how they react. And I think that helps me communicate with empathy instead of just focusing on getting my own point across. One of the biggest ways I've grown during my MBA is my confidence as a communicator because I haven't always been a confident person. I had to build that confidence over time. And starting an MBA in a language that isn't my first language definitely challenged me, especially in the beginning. I wasn't insecure about my ideas, it was just more insecure about expressing them in English. And sometimes I worried that people would focus more on my wording or my accent than on the value of what I wanted to contribute. So I occasionally held back in class discussions. And another challenge that I was coming across with the MBA was my psychology background, as I had my undergraduate degree in psychology instead of a business degree. And in the beginning, I felt like many of my classmates already understood the business concepts and all the terminology and the words that I just didn't have any prior knowledge. And it took me some time to realize that my perspective was just as valuable because my background gave me knowledge about customer behavior and motivation, decision making, and teamwork in general, and all things that business rely on basically every day. So in the beginning, I wasn't really sure how to contribute to a class discussion, but then I realized that maybe other people that have more business knowledge are lacking more consumer behavior knowledge and maybe don't really understand what the consumer actually wants. So I realized that there's a gap that I can use to contribute with my knowledge. And once I recognized that, I became much more comfortable sharing my ideas and realized that diverse perspectives actually make teams stronger. And the biggest contributors to my growth were our presentations, our crew projects, our class discussions, and the feedback I received from professors and classmates. Every discussion and every presentation made me more comfortable speaking professionally in English, and every group project taught me how to communicate with people who had different experience and different backgrounds and opinions. And I also learned that effective communication isn't always about saying the most, it's about saying what matters clearly and confidently. Looking ahead, I think communication will be critical in almost every role that I will have. After my professional sports career, I hope to work in marketing or brand management, and I can easily imagine presenting a new marketing strategy to any leadership's position, and I can see myself trying to convince a team to invest in a new campaign. And before the MBA, I probably would have focused on presenting as much information as possible, and because I wanted to make sure that everyone understands the topic. But now today I would approach a situation differently. I would first think about my audience, understand what is important to them, organize my message clearly, support my ideas with relevant data, and leave room for discussions and questions after. And now I understand that communication isn't about delivering information, it's about influencing decisions and building the trust. One area I want to improve is my executive presence. Sometimes when I'm excited about a topic, I speak too quickly. And after graduation, I plan on keep practicing my speaking skills. But overall, the MBA has really changed my communication style, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.